If you've ever found what seems to be the perfect new construction home and you've ever wondered, is this too good to be true, or is this actually a really good investment or not, you are not alone. I get a lot of questions about builder quality, about neighborhood quality, and so today I wanted to make a video about the hidden risks with these entry-level builders and communities that are sprouting up everywhere around the Houston area. I do want to preface this video by saying that it is not entirely a bad investment, but I get a lot of questions about if it's a good investment. And sure, it's probably a good investment, but is it the best investment? And that's the really key differences about what I'm talking about in this video, because I've personally helped clients who have tried to resell these homes later on down the road, and what seems like perfect and affordable can actually end up costing you a lot more in the long run. I had one client in particular who came to me to sell her home, and it was one of these new construction homes that she had bought a few years prior, and she was upset that it had a really hard time reselling because the neighborhood and the home itself did not appreciate in the way that she was promised and hoped for. So today I'm here to help you avoid that same fate and let you know some of the things that you should be looking out for when you are picking a new construction home for the short-term investment as well as the long-term investment. So let's dive into it. By the way, if you're more of a visual learner, I did make a PDF of my notes for this video that you can click and follow along and make your own notes as well. So let's start by breaking down the typical life cycle of one of these affordable entry-level builder neighborhoods. So when the neighborhood is beginning and just developing and you probably moved in, everything is new and fresh. The builders probably sold you on a ton of promises for the area, nearby schools, parks, playgrounds, walking trails. Here's what also happens and what the builder typically doesn't tell you about that neighborhood. The first thing is that the builder is probably not going to tell you that they are also selling a significant amount of those homes to investors who are going to turn around and rent those houses, which in turn is going to bring instability to that community almost immediately. So after the initial cycle of building, then we go into the established cycle where they're no longer building new construction homes. And this is where you might start to notice that a lot of those promises are pretty non-existent in these new construction homes. Perhaps you were promised tree-lined streets and there are little to no trees in that neighborhood, and every single house on your street looks almost identical. There is no uniqueness to the homes. They were just built one after the other very, very quickly. And here's the unfortunate kicker and why a lot of these communities do not stand the test of time and do not appreciate at a fast rate is because once the builder is done developing in that neighborhood, they no longer have a stake or interest in your neighborhood, and therefore they are not going to maintain it. They're not going to continue building amenities. There's no interest in them to maintain that area, and therefore after they're done, it starts to go downhill pretty fast compared to other master plan communities that have a vested interest. Maybe they have commercial in the area, maybe they're going to continue building for many, many years. Those neighborhoods, that's the main reason why they tend to appreciate higher and at a much better rate than these affordable entry-level builder neighborhoods. So let's talk a little bit more about this home appreciation or the lack of. Now, again, I am not saying that these homes will not appreciate, because they will. But between some of the options you're going to have in the suburbs, these types of communities versus other types do not appreciate the same. So to kind of prove my point, I went through a lot of older communities, master plan communities, as well as single builder, entry-level builder communities, and I looked at their appreciation rates over 17 years in several different suburbs. And when it was all said and done, the average was about a 25% higher increase in the master plan communities compared to the single level builders. So basically the very last one I pulled, it was for a same size house, same year built, same zip code, very close. The only difference was the builder and the master plan community. One home is going to walk away with $173,000 in equity, and the other one is going to walk away with $318,000 in equity over the span of 17 years. So it just goes to show that yes, you might have to pay 15 to 20% more to get into these master plan communities, but the long-term appreciation is significantly different. They hold their value for much, much longer. So if you're wondering why these neighborhoods often lose appreciation or don't appreciate as fast, there's a few key reasons for this that I found in doing the research and data for this. First, in these types of neighborhoods, it comes to the lack of variety in the home design when it comes to resale value. When they build these homes, they build 2, maybe 3 of the same exact floor plan 500 times in the same neighborhood. So when you go to resell that home, you are competing probably against 5 or 6 other houses on your street that were built and look exactly the same as yours, not to mention all the investors and rentals in the area. It makes it very, very hard to resell this home and to show value to a potential buyer compared to similar homes right next to you. Second, if the area is older and it doesn't have any of the promised amenities, or there is a high amount of rentals in the area and the houses are not as well maintained as some of the other areas, then that's an immediate turnoff to the buyers, and they're going to go find an established master plan community or community that maintained itself a little bit better. And lastly, the initial affordability of these houses do not include the long-term longevity of these houses. When they build these houses, they are in the now. Right now, how can I make this affordable to a buyer for them to buy it from me? They're not thinking about your resale value. They're not thinking about long-term maintenance. The fact of the matter is, half the time, these homes are not built with lasting designs or very good material. And quite honestly, after 5 to 10 years, it really starts to show in the age of the house, especially if it's not well maintained, that this was not a quality neighborhood or builder from the get-go. This brings us to perceived affordability. And I get it, the economy right now, home prices that are an all-time high, and if you're gonna buy a house, you have to find something affordable, and you want something that looks semi-new and doesn't need a lot of updates. And that's why these houses are doing so well. And it's really easy to get excited about the price tag. But it's really important to look beyond those incentives and sticker price tag, because if you think about it, what are you truly getting for the money? Because in many cases, the lower price tag is a reflection of the design, the quality, and your potential resale value in the future. And all of those things are eventually going to come up again. And while it might seem like a good deal today, if that home doesn't resell or it doesn't increase in value, then that affordability price tag is going to end up costing you a lot more in the long run. Now, if the entry-level single builder community is all you can afford and you really do want new construction and you don't want to compromise on that, it's okay. You can still make it work. I'm not saying do not invest in these at all. I'm just saying that out of all the tiers, they're probably not the best investment, but we can still make it work. If you do end up buying one of these new construction homes, please make sure you focus on home maintenance and doing strategic updates that don't cost a ton of money, but that will make you stand out from your neighbors when it does go to resale value time. Now, if you do have some flexibility in the type of home that you want, and you have a little flexibility in your budget, then I would highly recommend that you either look for an older home in an already very established master plan community that was built in the last 5 to 10 years. It might be a smaller home, but the appreciation and the value is going to be much better, and it's going to be a lot more stable than these entry-level affordable neighborhoods that you're not really sure what's going to happen once the builder leaves that community. The second alternative is to look for the major developments that have a really good reputation here in Houston. And if you can find communities with multiple builders so that there is diversity in the type of builder and there's more than one builder that has stake in the development, you're going to have much better chances of getting a more stable investment that's going to appreciate. I'll be honest, these neighborhoods often do need a little bit more money up front, but in my humble opinion, they do appreciate much better. Finally, if you've already bought one of these homes and you majorly regret it and you want out of it and you're not sure if you can sell it or if you're going to get your money back, I have some tips for you too. First of all, timing is key. Make sure that you are putting the home on the market at a very desirable time when the most amount of buyers are on the market looking for a home. Two, again, I talked about the upgrades and maintaining your home. There are some strategic upgrades that you could do to the home to make it stand out and maximize your profits. And number three, unfortunately, if you bought it recently, you are going to be competing with the home builders, so you're going to have to get with your agent to very strategically market that home to be able to compete against the builders. I hope this video has given you a little bit more of a clear picture on what the affordable entry-level builder is and what's really behind that price tag. The intention of this was not to completely turn you off from them, but it was to give you a clearer understanding of why they are so affordable compared to other neighborhoods. All about understanding the clear, full picture so that you can make an informed decision when it goes to buying a new construction home in the Houston area. If you have any questions or you want to chat about your specific circumstances and would like me to represent you when you are purchasing a new construction home, feel free to message me. I'm always happy to help. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.